A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank Online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill, choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Santa Yala.
Lekar, utul wave, nga scan, nga fay, nak doo ci yokku dara.
Jah Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jah Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jah Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jah Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jah Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jah Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jah Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today. If Suwaibou Touray, for instance, was successful in December 2026, would he want, to forego the privilege, the right, the power to nominate 5 members of the National Assembly?
No, we are opposed to that. We are opposed to anybody coming to the National Assembly without the consent of the people.
Okay.
That's the principle.
Everybody should come
Everybody
to
should come through
an election.
Through election.
So you wouldn't want to take this opportunity?
We will of course come with affirmative action. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the type of elections that I've just explained in the regions, every 2, that type of affirmative action, but it should be through elections.
Okay.
If the Federation of Disabled are going to select people, it should be through elections.
Okay.
They, as the disabled, will be the selection.
Okay. Nobody should go into that
Nobody
National
should
Assembly.
come to Parliament because president brings you to parliament or president nominates you to parliament. That is not democratic. That is introduced by the monarchy, the British monarchy when they were here.
And what does it say that the speaker themselves, because it could be a woman, it could
and
be
it
a
says
man,
also
that the leader of the National Assembly was not elected.
Yeah, because all that is still the input of the monarchy when they were here, the British when they were here. So now we have our republic, we are independent, we say democracy. All those people should be elected members. You cannot be leader of an institution like parliament, when you are not elected. Many people, if you ask them whether you want Fabakary Tombong to be the speaker, they will say no, we don't want. That's why when they are selecting
do you
them,
want him to be the speaker?
No, I don't want, because when they are selecting them, I left out. I left the parliament. I told my colleague, let's leave, let's not participate in these elections. Because
not only he, the deputy is also
both
not elected.
That's what I'm saying, both. Both of them should, from my own point of view, should not be leader of the parliament in any way.
So you will change the law?
We'll change the law
so that
to ensure that the parliament, we'll look at it. The parliament will elect their speaker. The parliament will elect whoever becomes majority in parliament. They can select the speaker.
And the speaker cannot be somebody that was not elected, because everybody in the National Assembly will have
must be elected. Must be elected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like we cannot have a president who was not elected by the people.
So, if the president selects 5 people, you are talking about they becoming independent. They cannot become independent. Because right now, all those 5 people, what they are thinking is election is coming.
Yes.
And we also want to come back to parliament.
Yes, absolutely.
And therefore, since we want to come to parliament, we have to speak the language of the president. Every time they speak, listen to them. Every time they speak, they are saying something that is, even if it is something that they know, it's not a good thing. They would try to make it a good thing because it comes from the office of the president.
Oh dear.
So they are representing the president. They are not representing the people. And everybody in parliament should be representing the people. So this is the malady that we have in our system.
Does this kind of feeling run deep in those members who are not part of the ruling coalition, that they feel that parliament is not serving the people but serving an individual?
Yes, many people have that feeling. But, they would say it's democracy. Of course we know it's democracy, but like if the type of democracy we have is not, the equity is not there. But many people have that feeling that the parliament is not serving the interests of the people. Even the budgeting system.
Tell me about it. What about the budgeting system?
Even the budgeting system.
What about
you ask each ministry to prepare their budget. And then the ministries prepare their budget. Here they give them a ceiling and say, don't pass, for example, 200 million.
Yes.
Don't pass 300 million.
Yes.
And then when the ministries develop this, they don't go to the electorate, they don't go to the people and say, what do you want? There is no consultation. They just sit in their office and scribble it quickly and then give it to the Ministry of Finance. And then they go and have bilateral with finance, and finance say, I told you stop at 300, but you went beyond, so I'm cutting it. So they bring it to parliament, and then we have bilateral with them. And they'll say, this is what we need, this is what we need, that's what we need. But then the people are not consulted. What do the people want? If you want to make a budget, at least you make a survey, and you talk to the people who are paying their tax. You ask them, what do you want? What would you want us to put in the budget? And they will give you their ideas. And then you put some of those ideas in the budget. But now you have a budget which is prepared by the various ministries, and they come up with what they call the budget line. And then the parliament cannot change that budget line by law. The parliament can only increase the budget line, add something, the figure there, or they can reduce. But they cannot change that budget line. And it is the parliament that is representing the people. You understand? For example, if you say, we are going to build, a bridge. Let me just say it that way.
Yes.
And then the parliamentarians feel that no, the bridge is not urgent, but this particular road going to that other area is more urgent. So they cannot change it from the bridge to the road. The Parliament cannot do that. Okay. But the Parliament can say, well, you want to spend 100 million, we feel that is too small, it should be 120, or no, that is too much, we are going to make it 90 million. They can do that.
Okay. So yes, the executive doesn't go back to the people to ask for their input, say, in when it comes to the budgeting. Yeah. But the Parliament also stands...
But they also, if in preparing the budget, you will see that like I said, the 50 million that we are talking about,
yes,
which is the 50 billion we are talking about, if you look at it, it's all consumed by the bureaucracy. It's consumed by the ministries. There is nothing there for development.
Okay.
The development is centered on that 18 billion, which is expected to come from grants or to come from loans. You understand? So, if no, like you say, if grants will not come, and then we are not able to get the loans envisaged, because it must now be loans with grant element. That means that no money will come for development. So it will just be ministries operating.
You'll have an $18 billion hole in your budget.
Yes, and then the projects will not move anywhere.
I was saying, just as you're saying that the executive does not consult the people when it comes to budgeting and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the National Assembly also stands accused of doing things their own way. For instance, on this vehicle policy, the people were not asked whether National Assembly members deserve, new cars every year. But you people, every 5 years, every election cycle.
Yes.
But you people are enjoying that privilege because you could, come up with an agreement, sign and pass it. As national assembly.
It's the same thing. I'm saying the budgeting system.
Should that have happened?
The National Assembly has their budget.
Yeah.
That is the budget of the National Assembly. That's not embedded in any ministry. The National Assembly has an authority.
Yeah, you put in this line for cars. And you should have asked us, shouldn't you?
No, this is what I'm saying. Wouldn't you want your National Assembly member to have a car to do his work?
Not once every 5 years. My car is older than 5 years and it's still on the road.
But you see, you should be thankful to the National Assembly for coming up with that scheme.
Oh, thankful.
Because that is a scheme. That is a scheme which provides vehicle to National Assembly members and ensure that the allowance of the National Assembly member goes into that scheme. I don't know whether you know that. The allowance, my car allowance, for the 5 years is gone into that scheme. And I am paying fuel for myself. I am paying my driver for myself. You understand? And I am maintaining the vehicle on my own for the 5 years. That's the scheme. Whereas if you have the permanent secretary or the minister, for example, the minister has 2 vehicles, and the government is maintaining those vehicles. And government is giving fuel to the minister for those 2 vehicles. Government is paying the driver of the minister, etc., etc. So these are different things. If you look at how the National Assembly actually do it, it's an innovation.
Oh, okay.
You understand? You may not know, but it's a scheme. And if other National Assembly members come would not have vehicle, the same scheme will go. You will say, okay, all your allowance for 5 years will go into
all the allowance?
No, all the car allowance. The allowance meant for you to carry out your I don't know how you call it, your functions.
So the car allowances 100% go back to repaying this vehicle.
Yes, to the vehicle.
Maybe that's something we didn't know before.
You did not know, but that's how it is. Right. I was arguing. I said, well, you people are making a lot of noise. I said, come with me. We go to the clerk. If they can give me my allowance, I'll give
for
them
5 years.
Yes. I'll give them
if they can give you your car allowance for 5 years, you'll give them back the vehicle and go and get your own car.
Exactly. But they're saying this is not optional. You cannot, it's not an option. You either take the car, but you have only forfeited your allowance because people are saying it's expensive. I say it's
Isn't
expensive.
it?
Yeah, it's expensive. But what they are arguing, you have to listen to them also. Why don't you go and interview the clerk of the parliament?
We can do that.
You can do that. For how many years you have not done that?
We can do that.
I told this journalist, let's go together and you sit down, I sit down with the clerk and they will explain to you how the scheme works. We sign it. Everybody signed the scheme. So my allowance has gone into the vehicle for 5 years.
Okay.
And if the car is wrecked, that's your business.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
It brings, clarity to
that's
the
your
whole
own
thing.
business.
Listen, all this noise that we've been hearing since before 2026 was all, building up to 2026, and here we are.
Yeah.
What do you see as the defining issues that will shape voter choice in December?
Well, from my own perspective, I believe poverty is an issue because the poverty is increasing even before this crisis that just come recently. Poverty is on the rise. They are saying poverty has gone down to 46 by their own survey. I'm going by their statistics.
Okay.
And then, even though I don't subscribe to that statistics.
You think it's higher than 40?
But now it has gone to 52, the percentage of poverty in the country. I believe it's still far more than that. When you leave this room, and you want to work for something like, 100 meters or so, you may meet one or two people who will tell you, help me with something. If you check your mobile now and see the message, you will see how many people will be asking you to support them. So you have so many dependents now. Not just your family now, not just your extended family, but now it's like a community that will be dependent. For people like National Assembly, is the whole country.
I was about to say, probably you are seeing me like a National Assembly member.
They wouldn't know, but if you walk on the street, you will see how many people. So the poverty is definitely increasing. And then the other thing is that the back way is an issue. Because it's an issue because people are dying. There must be a way of addressing that. But I also believe that governance, corruption, is also becoming an issue. Corruption, from my own perspective, when I do my own estimates from the Auditor General's report, I estimated that not less than 1.5 billion is being wasted through corruption.
Is that annually?
Annually.
Oh dear, 1.5 billion.
Yes, 1.5 billion. You can see what that can do. So, which means corruption is a very serious issue, which must be part of the agenda of any party that is going into an election campaign and use it as an election issue. And I believe that people will be listening to that one as well. I believe other issues are there, social issues. Health is an issue. Because if you go to the Gambian health sector, is a lot to be desired.
Oh no, they're saying that it's improved, considerably. We have more consultant doctors. I should have been speaking to one this morning, yes. But I'll be talking to them tomorrow and so on and so forth. It's
good to have doctors, but if you have doctors and they don't have equipment to do their work, how will they do it's one thing to have a doctor.
It's a question doctors themselves are asking.
Yeah, it's a question. You can see that. Yeah. So you'll see that many people will go to the hospital. They'll tell you, this is what you have, this is your problem. But they will say, we have this thing. You should go to India, or you should go to Dhaka, or you should go to South Africa, or you must go outside. So how many people are being asked to go outside? And they are not being given any support to go outside. That's an issue. Even the issues that they can address, even medicine for just essential medicine is not available in many cases. If you go to my constituency and you go to the health center, you tell them medicine. They even sometimes what they call painkiller, paracetamol. Yes. They will not be able to dispense that to patients that are coming there. So health is an issue, but I'm saying these are services, and those services cannot be fully met by any government if you don't develop a sector of getting finance. You must get revenue, and it should not be dependent on tax. If you want to tax poor people, I heard you speaking to
Unite Movement.
You're talking about tax, but if you want to increase tax, he's even talking about expansion of tax. That expansion of tax that I see is even putting burden on the ordinary person. Because whichever area you tax must touch the lives of the ordinary person. So expanding the tax base in the way they are doing will not address the issue. You must be productive. You must build a productive economy to be able to address those issues. Because that is for sure. What I have been telling you from our manifesto. Yes. You build a cooperative bank. In the budget this year, we put 3 billion. and you have been in that place for a long time, I'm not sure whether you are still renting. You need to take a loan.
You mean West Coast Radio?
West Coast Radio.
Luckily, we stopped renting.
You stopped renting
almost 3 years ago. Yeah.
So you take this thing, you build your enterprise.
Thanks to sponsors like Reliance. That's why you see them all over the place. The private sector is what enabled us. All right.
Yeah.
As they say, this government has not helped us, to grow in any way at all.
So you have this cooperative bank. You put 3 billion there. Yeah. The carpenters will come there. The masons will come there. Business persons will come there. Farmers will come there. While they are taking, it's a cooperative. All the all the startups can take it, and then they can return it without interest.
Okay.
Now you have middle business people. If they take it, they put interest, and then you have the big investors who are Gambian.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
If the government will empower them, and guarantee them, they can take loan internally, they can take loan externally, and government will encourage them. But only if they are going to,
contribute to that pot.
Yes.
Okay.
If they are going to do processing, or they are going to export the product that we are processing in the country, we will allow them. We will guarantee them. That system, when that works, you see everybody will be busy in this country. But with the situation we have now, it's not the productive. The productive base is neglected. I hear the president talking about, he said 35,000 tons. I think he said tons of bags of fertilizer that they have for the farmers. If you look at 35,000 tons of fertilizer, and then you have 1 million farmers, how much fertilizer would each have? So that is like a drop in the ocean. That's not the seriousness that we deserve. You have the farmers; they have their organic manure. How do we empower them to build that manure so that they don't destroy their soil? Huh? This chemical fertilizer that is coming from outside is destroying the soil.
Is it?
Yeah, you don't know. All the microbes in the soil are being destroyed, are being affected by the fertilizer because it's chemical. It's killing the microbes that are in the soil that are developing that soil to become a manure for the plant. You understand? So you need to have organic manure that is naturally, working with the microbes. The microbes will feed on the organic manure, and the manure will give, support to the plants. You understand?
Yes.
But chemical fertilizer is not good for our soil.
Yeah.
And we will be dependent on that chemical fertilizer. Every year you have to import it. Once you destroy your soil, every year you must import that chemical fertilizer to be able to take care of your farming. And you are not in that position. Huh? But we can train our farmers. We can introduce organic fertilizer system. Like I told you, when I was young, we were producing between 160.
You're still young to me.
No, I'm not young. I'm getting close to 70. Huh? In the 60s, we are producing close to 200,000 tons of groundnut. GPMB was vibrant. Huh? Cooperative was vibrant. Yes. They were, I think, by the 1975s, GPMB had something like 100 million pounds deposited in their external account. So, what happened? The ERP comes.
So our foreign reserves were healthy.
We are healthy at that time.
Gamtel also had healthy foreign reserves. Gamtel also
have all these things. But then the government becomes, what we are talking now, they become corrupt after some time. And a lot of wastage during those days. And then
which has carried on to
the economy dwindles. And then the IMF came and, start putting conditionalities and making you to believe that you cannot do anything without the IMF. And then, you get so used to the IMF taking loans until we become addicted. I say all these things in Parliament. They become
so you don't see
we are now addicted.
You don't see IMF as being positive to a developing country like ours.
No, the IMF has failed in their agenda.
Have they?
Yes, they have totally failed. Talk to them, they will tell you we have totally failed. If you know the agenda of the IMF, is that if a country is in trouble, like we were in 1986, as they say, that they were indebted and they could not pay their loans, that is one. But they could not get balance of payment deficit, etc. And then the IMF will come and induce funds, help that country to stand on its feet. But from 1986 to now, the IMF is here. We are more dependent today than we were in
So what if we ended up with...
So they have failed completely.
So what if we ended up on December the 6th with a president-elect Suwaibou Touray?
Yes.
How would you deal with the IMF issue? We are so indebted to the IMF.
Yeah,
we are condemned to work with them.
Yeah.
For X number of years still to come.
I told you, our budget is taken care of. Everything is being consumed by the bureaucracy. What we are taking from the IMF, we don't even need that from the IMF.
So you won't take anything.
We will tailor this budget, cut all the unnecessary expenditure that is there,
just so that we don't go back to IMF.
Yeah, so that we don't go to buy IMF. And what we are able to, for example, if you cut all that. And say you have 10 billion. The cooperative bank, I am telling you now, you'll be able to put 3 billion in that. And then you'll be able to carry out your development projects. You understand? Etc., etc.
But what about...
And then the IMF, you will just agree with the IMF. IMF is susceptible to those ideas. You will say, we will pay you the loan that we have between you and us. For example, we'll pay 3 billion every year. Instead of 5 billion. And then, but we will not take from you now. The IMF will say, okay, go ahead.
You think they will?
They will. Yes. I know it will be a struggle because the IMF is a business. Giving loans to countries like us is a business. And if you want to stop them, they always complain. They don't want you to stop. It's in their interest. But if a country says, we are going to pay your loan, we are going to pay 3 billion. But we will not take loan from you. They will agree to that.
They will? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So if you cut down your expenditure, according to your size.
Okay.
Cutting down the expenditure. You start like I said, your development plan.
But I foresee problems there. I may be wrong. And, let me say.
What problem do you foresee?
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, how would you deal with the salary of ministers, the salary of National Assembly members?
If it is a dry government, you know that we are prudent. That's what I'm telling you. We are going to cut down all those unnecessary expenditure.
But can you?
We can. Okay. Because if the president, when he came in 2016, if he says, when they saw him his salary and they say, well, your salary is 160, for example.
Yes.
Million. 160,000.
Yeah, thank you. Thank God for that. When you said million, I thought, where would we get
160,000? He could have said, no, I'm not going to take 160,000. Because my family is being fed by the budget. My electricity, my bills, everything is paid by
accommodation,
the government. My accommodation, my children's education and all this is taken care of. So I will just say, for example, I'll only take 100,000. Once the president makes that undertaking, he'll be able to convince all the other people to be prudent.
True.
In the way they do things.
True.
You understand? And then, what you accumulate through that is just for investment now.
So how much was the president getting when he came in 2017?
How was the president?
How much was he getting? What was his salary?
That's what I'm saying.
It was 160, was it?
Jammeh was getting 160.
I had 170.
170,
yes.
Okay. 165, 170.
Yes.
170.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
And then when this guy came, that's what he got.
Yes.
But when we have salary increase.
So now it stands where?
10% across the board.
Yeah.
You add 10% to, no, it's not 10%, it's 50%. The first increment was 50%.
Yes.
You add 50% of 160, or 170. Then you have something like
85.
85. Then 85 is added to
85,000.
Then you calculate. Then another 50% increment. I don't think 30% increment has come.
Oh dear.
Then that's also added. Okay. So that type of salary increase in itself is a problem. Because people who have higher salaries, National Assembly members,
will only go higher.
Will only
go higher and
higher.
It should have been stratified.
It should be reviewed in such a way that we support those who are below, and then those who are at the top stay where they are, because they are receiving something that can take care of their families. But we are not doing that.
I'm really enjoying this conversation, but radio works on time. It's coming up to 11 o'clock already. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you what message you might have for, listeners and watchers of this program. But before that, your headgear. What's the inspiration?
This one?
Yes.
Amilcar Cabral.
Yeah, exactly. Of what relevance is Amilcar Cabral to Doy's philosophy?
Yes, Doy's philosophy, Amilcar Cabral is independence. He was fighting for independence. He was fighting for socialism. So we believe that the role Amilcar Cabral played in Guinea-Bissau, in Africa, is tremendous. Because Amilcar Cabral was propagating for African unity. He was propagating for independence. Independence in the true sense of the word. Not this fragile independence that we have now, where everything is being dependent. People are just dependent on external donors. Amilcar Cabral is opposed to that. If you go to Guinea-Bissau, and you travel in Guinea-Bissau, you'll be inspired by what Amilcar Cabral, he was an agronomist. And even though he was in the process of fighting the Portuguese colonialists, but he took the program and planted, wood across Guinea-Bissau. Every street you will see this tall wood everywhere. Yes. It become a wooded country. And then he also introduced cashew. Cashew farming. Okay. And up to now, cashew farming, in fact, is the number one stay of Guinea-Bissau. And Amilcar Cabral did not take over government. He did not take over government. He did not even, before he took over government, he was assassinated. So that is something that if that does not inspire anybody, you will never be inspired again.
And finally, what message do you want Gambians to take away from Doy's uninterrupted presence in politics and as we build up to 2026? That's your camera over there, so speak to them directly.
Yeah. Well, what I can say is that we are in a catch-22 situation. We have a government that is bankrupt, a country that is bankrupt, because we were dependent on loans and grants, and now the IMF is saying you cannot take loans without grant element. They took us to mortgage our Senegambia bridge for 25 years, and they've taken the revenue at one go, $100 million, and that's what they are spending. So just to be able to come back. Now, after that is done, they also went ahead and, hand over our port to Al Bayrak, and then expect Al Bayrak to take over that port and run it, and just give them a token of revenue. So we will never go beyond what we are getting. The only thing that we are dependent on now is remittances. The tourism sector is more or less collapsed. We cannot still resuscitate it since the COVID-19 epidemic. So we need a third way. We need a new way, and I believe that new way only Doy can offer. Only Doy is offering a new way. I listen to you with UMC. I see that it's the same way. They are not saying anything new. They are saying the same thing. The smartness and all this. You cannot be any smarter than smart. So we just need to go into the productive base. Our people are in the field. They are ready to work. I am from a rural area. Every time I go, in my village, you will see that they've done their own initiative of coming up with a rice field. And now government is also supporting them. But they are working on the field, and many of them are not buying rice now. So we can develop the productive base. We can produce the rice that we need in this country. We are spending something like 30 billion to import food into this country. But much of what we import in this country is already available. We can produce it here. We can produce the maize that we need, the corn that we need, transform it into flour. We can produce the fish. We have an ocean, a small country, but we have big ocean. 12 nautical miles, 24 nautical miles, 150 continental ocean, water. So we have the fish, both inland, inside the river, as well as in the ocean. So we can come up with projects, productive projects, where we can do investment in fishing. We'll catch the fish, we'll process the fish here, and that will create jobs for our women, create jobs for our youth, create jobs for the country, and we'll be able to export. And the foreign exchange we are going to accrue from that will boost up the dollary, whatever currency we have at the time. And then, prices will be stabilized and everybody will be employed. All gainful employment, all those who are, able to work, will be able to work and contribute to their country. So that's what we have to offer to our Gambian people.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Honorable Touray, thank you so very much for coming to Coffee Time.
Thank you very much.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank Online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jah Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, Jah Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The Jah Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, Jah Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, Jah Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. Jah Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The Jah Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.